Up and down the land, the ring of an alarm clock is the cue for many a scene like this one. The young lady just doesn't want to get up. Ah, yes, you know the feeling, especially after you've stayed up late having a wonderful time. And right here, we begin our tips on behavior for the career-conscious working girl. You do your best work when you feel your best, and that means you've got to get enough sleep. Save your big dates for the weekend, and from the beginning to the end of your working week, give your attention to your job. Etiquette for the business girl is much the same today as it was when the first hunt and peck pioneer rolled her hair into a neat bun, put on her celluloid cuffs, and sat down at her typewriter to prove she could do a good job. The fundamentals of office deportment, as stressed by Eleanor Ames, are still efficiency, neatness, and impersonal friendliness. The young women who compose the staff of any organization should realize that punctuality is expected of them. If the hours are 9 to 5, that means you should be at your desk at 9. Sally, secretary, is a smart, modern miss who knows the importance of punctuality, and her employer appreciates that fact. But look here. Late-coming Cora thinks she can excuse herself by being charming and gay, and she succeeds only in proving her ignorance of office etiquette. An office is no place to prove that you're Miss Personality. And needless to say, it is not the place to wear your most glamorous hat and date dress. What now, Cora? Quitting time already? Well, Miss Sally Secretary at least is tending to business. Writing down a telephone message which you accept for another person is an absolute must, and Sally is doing that very thing now. Ah, yes, she does know enough to knock. That's important, too. While a businesswoman must remain a lady in the finest sense of the word, she must not expect drawing-room manners in an office. It certainly would be carrying gallantry too far were this busy executive to stand and place a chair for his secretary. However, he should always do as this man is doing now, take a phone call as soon as the connection is made for him. Well, it looks as if Cora has declared a holiday for Cora. Most employers disapprove of long conversations that have nothing to do with business. And you should never, never distract another employee who is attending to his work. But things like that don't bother Cora very much. Ah, 10 o'clock. Time to start work. Well, it did look as if she were going to get busy. Busy? Busy fixing her face, I'm afraid. Cora may shine, but not as a career girl. Two of a kind. Lest you think Cora alone ignores the rules of office conduct, here is the company playboy. He's not only playing Romeo on company time, he is damaging the office furniture. Look at that foot on the chair. But there's no nonsense about Sally Secretary. She disapproves of this whole performance, and she's giving Cora a lesson in office behavior. A lesson, by the way, that Cora could use. Maybe Sally said enough in her courteous fashion to convince Cora that business conduct is a serious thing. Oh, lunch with the boss. Yes, the press of business often makes it necessary for a secretary to lunch with her employer. She should not consider this a social invitation. Uh-oh, what's this? Late again, Cora? Isn't this getting to be monotonous? The boss seems to think so. It would be our guess that you've exhausted his patience, and you'll have to mend your ways. Ah, but now she's early. Early to leave. And we bet she'll be on time for that date she is making. But Cora has fun. Another evening of dancing is done. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow? Why, Cora, you have less than 3 hours sleeping time between now and 7 o'clock. 3 little hours before that alarm clock goes off once more. Why do you look so proud of yourself, Cora? Uh-oh, you're allowing yourself an extra hour of sleep. Dream, Cora. Dream what can be true. Dream that you're the perfect secretary that every busy executive hopes to find.
I cannot end this meeting without saying thank you to Miss Seaman, who in the short time she has been with this organization has become well nigh indispensable. Her inexhaustible energy, her devotion to the interests of this company, her dependability and efficiency make her a fine example of the type of young businesswoman we want.
Yes, sir, wedding bells finally rang in the life of Margie Blake. Back from their honeymoon, she and Tim are headed for a life of wedded bliss, they think. Yes, the honeymoon is over for Tim, now that he starts back to work. And it's over for Margie, too, as she enters her bright new kitchen to cook her first meal. Can she prepare those favorite dishes of Tim's, just like his mother used to make? What would he like for dinner? He just loves chocolate cake. Go ahead, try one. All you have to do is follow the recipe. This is going to be easy. Let's see, what's next? It says, cream butter until soft and smooth. Cream the butter? Better get the cream. That's right, pour it in. The recipe says cream the butter, so put in lots of cream. Just look at that silky smooth texture of that batter. Will Tim be surprised? Will Tim be surprised? No, Margie, your cake didn't turn out so well because you misunderstood a term in your cookbook. You'll find that your cookbook contains many terms which pertain to cooking alone. It is necessary for you to know what these terms mean before you can interpret recipes properly. To cream butter merely means to work it with an instrument until it becomes soft and smooth. There are many other terms you should know. For example, you must stir the ingredients in your chocolate cake. To stir is to mix food materials with a circular motion to secure a uniform consistency. Later, you may be required to beat egg whites stiff but not dry, or so that they hold the greatest amount of air without losing their elasticity. You may have to fold two substances together. The process of folding combines two motions, cutting vertically through the mixture and turning over repeatedly by sliding the instrument along the bottom of the bowl. The purpose of this motion is to prevent loss of air from the ingredients. In making a frosting for that same cake, you may boil a sugar syrup. To boil is to cook at such a temperature that bubbles rise continuously and break on the surface. Later, your frosting recipe may call upon you to perform the test for the soft ball stage. And this is performed by adding a few drops of the substance to very cold water. If the drops form soft balls that can easily be flattened with the fingers, the material is at the soft ball stage, or a temperature of 235 degrees Fahrenheit. The frosting may have to be beaten. This may be done with an electric mixer. To beat by hand is to make a mixture smooth, or to introduce air by using a brisk, regular motion that lifts the mixture over and over. The making of this cake and the frosting on it involve the terms cream, stir, fold, boil, soft ball stage, and beat. Almost all bread and roll recipes call for kneading the dough. To knead means to manipulate with a pressing motion, accompanied by folding and stretching. In cooking meats, other terms are used. Less tender cuts of meat may best be cooked by stewing. When applied to meats, this means to add a small amount of water and simmer until tender. To simmer is to cook in water just below the boiling point, or at a temperature of approximately 185 to 195 degrees Fahrenheit. Other cuts of meat might be cooked by braising. First, the meat must be dredged. To dredge simply means to coat with flour, cornmeal, or other fine substance. Your recipe will usually tell you what should be used. Next, you must brown the meat. This is done by cooking in a small amount of fat until brown. Be sure to brown the meat on both sides. The third step in braising is to add water and cook by simmering. So you see that the term braise includes three other terms: dredge, brown, and simmer. Of course, braising is only one of the many ways in which we can cook meats. One of the most popular is roasting. The terms roast and bake mean the same thing: to cook by dry heat. But before you actually start to roast the meat, you may sear it. This is done by the short application of intense heat. And causes the surface of the meat to turn brown in color. It is done to improve the flavor and appearance, but does cause greater loss of juice. The oven temperature should then be reduced to proceed with the roasting. Suppose Margie's cookbook told her to marinate the vegetables before preparing the salad. Would she know what to do? To marinate means simply to saturate the food with a marinade. A marinade is an oil-acid mixture, which is usually a kind of salad dressing. The mixture is usually allowed to stand in the refrigerator for some time. Sometime during your career as a cook, you'll decide to serve scalloped cauliflower. This involves even more terms. A white sauce should be made first, and the first step is to scald the milk, or to heat it to a temperature just below the boiling point. While the milk is heating, add flour to melted fat in amounts called for by your recipe. Stir rapidly to prevent the formation of lumps. Scalding is complete when a scum forms on the surface of the milk. Add the milk slowly, again stirring constantly to avoid lumps. Notice the scum, which indicates the milk has been scalded. Meanwhile, the cauliflower must be boiled until tender. Put alternate layers of boiled cauliflower, grated cheese, and white sauce in a greased baking dish. A layer of breadcrumbs on top if desired. And bake in a moderate oven until brown in color. So you see, in this case, the term scallop includes the other terms: white sauce, scald, boil, and bake. One of the real tests of a cook is their jelly making, and the crucial point in making jelly of any kind is in knowing when it is cooked. A jelly test indicating a temperature of 220 degrees Fahrenheit is frequently used. One of the satisfactory jelly tests is the sheet from a spoon test. This is performed by allowing a small amount of the juice to drop off a spoon. When the last two drops run together and sheet from the spoon, the jellying stage is reached. The jelly should be removed from the fire at once. These are only a few of the terms you will have to use and understand. How can you learn the others? Well, most good cookbooks have a glossary of terms in the appendix. Let's see if Margie's cookbook has one. Yes, even Margie's cookbook has a glossary. Cream. To soften a fat with a spoon or beater, you also to combine the softened fat with sugar. If she had only looked at this before she baked that cake. But wait a minute. There's still time to bake another cake before Tim comes home to lunch. It'll be right this time, and he'll never know the difference. Yes, even Margie found that she could learn to cook when she discovered the significance of the terms used in cooking. And Tim will never know she ruined her first cake.
Mr. Rogers?
Oh, no. Well, anyway, Dad can't fire me. Back to school in 2 weeks. Well, what'll you have?
How about 3 cans of Rogers Special?
Sure.
And one of these.
that be all?
Yes. Charge it tomorrow. Bye, Bill. See you later.
So long, Joan.
Okay, Sonny, 32.50.
Just a minute, Bill. We always pay by check.
Well, what's the difference, Dad? It's all money, isn't it?
It's much better and easier this way.
I don't get it, Dad. It looks like more trouble to me. Why is it easier to pay with checks instead of with cash?
Bill, it's about time you learned something about checks, because you'll be using them in personal and business affairs for the rest of your life.
Thank you.
So long.
Now here, I want you to take these checks down to the bank and deposit them. And while you're there, stop in and see Joan Sterling's dad. He'll straighten you out.
Okay.
I'll call him up. Tell him you're coming.
Sure, Bill. A lot of people at first ask just that same question. Why not use cash? Well, here are the main reasons. Seats, convenience, records. Take safety, for instance. There's nothing safe about cash unless you're holding it tight in your fist. Like that payment to the frosted food salesman you were talking about. Things like this happen every day. If that had been actual cash, what chance do you think there'd be of getting it back?
Not much.
That's just where the safety factor of checks comes in. If lost or stolen, only the proper person can cash them. And in the meantime, your money is safe in your bank account.
Well, that's reason enough for me.
Wait a minute, Bill. That's only one good reason for paying by check. What about receipts? Your father himself told me this story. It happened to him just the other day. One of his suppliers called him up. It seemed there was some question of a bill not being paid. Well, your dad didn't waste any time talking. He just got out the canceled check that he'd paid the bill with, and that settled it. You see, your dad had proof that he'd paid that bill. The canceled check was his receipt. Another reason why checks are so widely used is convenience. Payments can be made any time, any place, and by mail, too. Something you wouldn't do with cash. A final big reason is accurate records. A checking account shows exactly where the money goes. Now, there are a good many reasons why people use checks, but these are the four main ones. Bill, do you know how to write a check?
Well, not exactly, I guess.
Well, always use a pen. Then make out your stub first. That's so you'll have a record of what the check is about. Now, on the check, fill in the number. Then the date. It should be the date on which the check is drawn. Next, the name of the person being paid. And be sure to spell it right. Now the amount in figures close to the dollar sign, so nobody can put in another number. Cents should be written in smaller figures and underlined. On the next line, write out the amount in words. Cents are a fraction, with 100 as the denominator. Fill in the space that's left with a wavy line, again to prevent alteration. Be sure the amounts in words and numbers agree. If they're different, the amount in words sets the amount of the check. In signing, your signature should agree with the one on file at the bank. Never cross out or change any written part of a check. If you make a mistake, write canceled across the face of it and file it away with your canceled checks. Then draw a new one. Well, that's about it. Any questions?
Well, what about when someone gives me a check? Don't I have to endorse it or something?
Right. There are three forms of endorsement that are widely used. The first one, the blank endorsement, makes the check as good as cash. Anyone can get money for it. So don't endorse it this way until you're ready to cash it. Turn it over, and here's where your endorsement goes. This is the simplest form of endorsement. In the blank endorsement, all you do is write your name across the end of the check. Sign it just the way it's made out to you on the face of the check. A special endorsement is a little different. Say your dad gave you a check and you wanted to transfer it to somebody else. You name the person you're paying it to. Then write your name the way you did before. Now the other fellow will have to sign his name before he can cash it. Finally, there's the restrictive endorsement. This means the check can be used only for what you say it's to be used for. Endorse checks this way when you're mailing them to the bank for deposit. There's one more thing you ought to know, Bill. If you get a check with your name misspelled or with the wrong initials, endorse it first exactly the way it appears on the face of the check.
Mistake and all?
That's right. But under that, write your name the correct way. Now, is there anything else I can tell you?
Yes, sir. What happens to the money in all this? When you write a check, just where does the real money go and how does it get there?
Well, let's follow a check. Let's take the one your father paid the frosted food salesman today. Here's your father. Here's his bank, our bank. Here's the food distributor, and here's its bank. Your father draws a check for $32.50 payable to the distributor. That check is in order to us to pay $32.50 of your father's money to the distributor. But the distributor, rather than bothering to come here and pick up the money, deposits the check in its bank and lets that bank collect the money. That means that $32.50 is deducted from your father's account here and added to the distributor's account there. The final step is when we send the check back to your father, endorsed by the distributor and canceled to show that the amount has been paid. We have a special banking process called check clearing, Bill, that takes care of the transfer of money from one bank to another. But that's a whole story in itself. Well, Bill, here's the story of the journey of one check. And it's the same whether it's made out by a housewife, doctor, wage earner, contractor, anyone.
Gee, that's really pretty simple. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sterling.
Well, most things are pretty simple once you understand them. But always be sure you have enough money in your bank account to cover the check.
Mr. Sterling,
Yes?
your daughter is here to see you.
Send her right in, please. Maybe you'd better stick around.
Well, fancy meeting you here.
I was just talking to Mr. Sterling, to your father, about checks.
Well, what a coincidence. Just what I came down about. Dad, you remember that adorable little dress we saw in the store window? And you said that if I really wanted
Yes,
it...
dear, I remember. How much?
Only $10.95. Deal?
Well, here goes another one on its way.
It's a new morning and a brand new day. The town is waking up, coming alive. Soon as the people in these homes actively begin the day, they'll be wanting and needing many things. Things to eat, things to wear, things to live with and enjoy, things to give to family and friends. So it is in every community in America, And so it will always be. For we are all consumers, each and every one of us. Suppose you or I were living in one of these homes. In order to buy the things we need, we'd go to this part of town. Plenty of stores here, all of them ready and eager to extend a welcome. Why do people go into one store in preference to another? Why, for example, should they choose our store? Give us the benefit of their trade. That's what we're going to find out. Here's the store we're looking for. The doors aren't open yet, but let's look inside. At this hour, of course, it seems rather lonely, vacant, and deserted. Hardly more than a place for storing merchandise. But not for long. The drama of retail selling is about to begin. Now, as the lights go on, we see many sparkling invitations to come in and buy. This merchandise reveals the skill of the people who selected it, who bought it wisely, priced it fairly, and displayed it enticingly. One thing, though, should not be forgotten. This treasure house can never become a store until the goods start moving away from the counters and shelves and into the hands and homes of our customers. But goods can't move by themselves. It takes people like ourselves. What we do and how we do it can make all the difference in the world. These people, and all the others like them, have a serious responsibility. If this store is really different, then it's because these people are more keenly proud of their skills and proud of their store. They find satisfaction in a job well done and are alert to the fact that success in selling is a stepping stone to greater opportunities in life.
Morning, Sue. How you feeling? Got first day butterflies?
Oh, and how?
You'll get over it in no time. Our department manager, Miss Cress, is wonderful to work for, and you can count on any of us for help.
Oh, thanks, Kate. I'll need it.
Oh, here's Miss Cress now. Don't worry, Sue. Anything you don't know, just ask.
That's right, Miss Roberts. We like inquisitive people. They're the ones who learn. By the way, you look very nice this morning.
Well, thank you, Miss Cress.
Kate, I know you'll help Miss Roberts get more familiar with the stock. Remember how you felt the first day you had a book of your own?
I sure do.
Well, you've come a long way since then. And by the way, Miss Roberts, you can learn a lot just by watching Kate sell. But let's get going. Now, you've probably seen this ad in last night's paper. This is one of the things that make it a really special promotion.
And now they're arriving. The customers on whom the store depends for business. What are they seeking? Will they be happy with their purchases and come back to buy again? Or will they walk out of the store empty-handed and go somewhere else? To the men and women who work in this store, these are important questions. Let's follow a few customers as their paths cross ours. This is the challenge. Whenever a customer walks up to your counter, it's a dramatic moment. And in this drama of selling, you are the star. Now watch this prompt, friendly greeting and a merchandise approach.
Good morning. That's the bag we featured in last night's paper. It's one of our new bags and an excellent value.
Yes, but I'm just looking.
By all means. Perhaps you'd like to look at these bags. They're featured in our windows. Attractive, aren't they?
They're very nice, but don't go to any trouble.
No trouble at all.
This is nice.
You have good taste. You picked one of our smartest bags. Just feel that calfskin. Smooth as butter.
Yes.
Well, I really didn't intend to buy anything. That's perfectly all right. I enjoy showing our merchandise. This bag, for example, in addition to being smart, is very practical. It's easy to carry, and it's roomy, too. Oh, I like a roomy bag. Another feature is the way it's designed to keep things in their places. Now, this center divider gives you a zipper pocket for cards and keys, and the bag is all leather-lined. Mm-hmm. You know, it looks very well with that suit you're wearing. Well, it's more than I care to pay. It's a few dollars more than the others, but it's a wonderful value. It's an exact copy of a bag that was featured only last month at a famous designer show. And of course, the original sold at several times the price of this bag. It is very smart. Well, I didn't intend to buy a bag today, but it is good looking. I think I'll take it. You seem to know your leathers. You may be interested in these belts we just got in stock. You know, when I first saw them, I thought they'd be very expensive, but they're not. A belt like this does a lot to dress up a costume, especially if you like separates. Well, I hadn't thought about it, but I do have a vacation coming up. One of these belts might be just the thing. Size 26? Mm-hmm. It's a nice width and shape. I could wear it with a couple of new things I've bought. All right, I think I'll take it. Okay, the bag and the belt. I know you'll enjoy wearing them. Is this a charge? Yes.
Every customer presents a new challenge. This saleswoman met the challenge with a 5-star performance. Her greeting was prompt and friendly, and she showed sincere interest in her customer. She asked questions that brought out the customer's needs and desires. She showed the right merchandise and explained it with enthusiasm. She increased the sale by trading up and suggesting an additional purchase. She closed the sale courteously and efficiently in a way that builds customer goodwill. Now let's observe another selling situation. The new girl, Sue Roberts, is about to meet her first customer.
Good morning. I'd like to see some stretch stockings. What length? Long. They're not for me, they're for my sister. Oh. This is a nice neutral shade. Oh, that's a very good brand. I wear those myself. Are those long? Oh, I'm sorry. Those are mediums. I must have put the stock in the wrong place. But we have long length, too. If you'll wait just a minute, I'll get it for you. I know they're here. I'm new in this department. If you just wait 1 minute, I'll ask somebody. Never mind. I'm in a hurry right now. I'll come back some other time. Oh, but it'll only take a minute, madam.
Of course, the first day is always a little tough. Sue Roberts tried, but some of us do experience a touch of stage fright with our first customer. Sue was taken by surprise and forgot to use a proper approach to ask questions to determine the customer's needs. She became confused about stock locations. Perhaps she can pick up some valuable pointers by watching Kate.
Good morning. Good morning. I wonder if you could show me some stockings.
Why, certainly. For everyday use or a special occasion?
Oh, something that will wear. The last stockings I bought didn't last any time at all.
Where did they seem to wear first?
Well, most of the run started at the garter.
We have a very nice service weight nylon that will give you lots of wear. What size do you take?
9.5.
Medium?
No, long.
Do you fold down the tops in order to fasten the garter?
Why, yes, that's right.
Now, that might account for the rungs of the garter. I'd be glad to show you a long length, but may I make a suggestion? Why not try a medium length?
Do you really think medium will be all right for me? I have rather long legs.
Yes, but I find many customers who are fairly tall prefer the medium. And if you have been folding them down from the top...
Maybe you're right. Let's see them.
This is a very good stocking. The thread is extra strong, but it doesn't make the stocking look heavy. Now, if you'll fasten your garter here, where it's reinforced, I'm sure you'll have less trouble.
Well, not all the runs start at the garter. I really don't know.
Have you ever tried mesh stockings?
No, I haven't.
Let me show them to you. You see how every tiny stitch is locked in place? If you get a snag, it stays that way. The stitches can't run all the way down. And these stockings are reasonably priced.
These might be just what I need. All right, I'll take a pair.
Fine. Would you like a box of 3? If you wear them in rotation, they'll last longer.
No, just one till I see how I like them.
All right. You might be interested in this special. It's a good value. You save nearly 30 cents on a pair.
Well...
Why not try the mesh for every day and use these for dressier wear? It's a wonderful value at the price.
Could use them. All right, I'll take 2 pairs of these. In the medium length, too.
Fine. Is this a charge?
No, I'll pay for them.
Here is another example of a 5-star performance. It was highlighted by Kate's questions, which brought out the customer's real needs, and her repeated offer of suggestions that increased the sale. Now let's see what's happening in another part of the store. And this time, watch the power of enthusiasm when showing and explaining merchandise.
Ooh, how do you like this one, Mom? Isn't it nice?
Yes, but the V-neck wouldn't go too well with your new suit.
Oh, but this is convertible. You can do it up like this.
It's still a tailored blouse, and her suit is quite dressy.
I just don't know.
Oh, but I like it, Mother.
Well, we'll put this one aside for just a moment. Perhaps this one with the jewel neckline would be more appropriate.
Yes, I think that's much better. But, haven't you something a little less expensive?
Certainly. Yeah, these have the jewel neckline, too. They launder quite easily and require very little ironing.
Well, this one might do all right.
Both of these blouses are exceptional values. And even though this one is a few dollars more, you can see the unusual styling. Look at the turned seams. And this delicate detail. And the luxurious feel of the fabric. It's 100% pure silk crepe.
Oh, I like this one so much better, Mother. All right, dear, we'll take it.
I think you've made an excellent choice. Oh, about this first one that you were looking at. It's perfect for casual wear. Don't you think you might like to take both of them?
I was just thinking of that. Not today, dear. We've already spent more than I expected. We'll come back some other time.
Well, anytime I can be of any assistance, please let me know. I'm Miss Manilli.
Thank you.
Oh, would you like to charge the blouse?
Oh, yes.
There was genuine enthusiasm in that sale. These are satisfied customers. Customers who come back again and again. In this business of retail selling, all sorts of people have to be pleased. That's what gives drama and excitement to the job. You never know who's coming next.
Jim, you've just got to buy yourself a new bathrobe.
Oh, Nancy, you said we were going to look at carpets.
Well, I want you to have a new bathrobe now. Oh, here, this would look wonderful on you. Slip off your coat and try it on. Come on.
happen to have this same robe in a smaller size?
No, we had a special on those that sold out, except for odds and ends. All we have is what you see.
Look, I don't need a new robe. Let's get onto the carpets, huh?
Well, they don't seem to have what we want.
I have some other robes you might like to... Just lookers. Hornet didn't want to buy anyway.
Oh, boy. And they call me a dummy. We ought to change places.
There's one thing you can say for the dummy. He doesn't irritate customers. An indifferent attitude and a failure to quickly suggest merchandise will always send customers away. Today, these customers don't like the salesman. Tomorrow, unless something happens to erase this unfortunate impression, they may be telling friends they don't like the store. What a pity they had to run into this particular salesman when so many others in the store do so much to win customer goodwill. Take Len Kaufman, for example. Here's a case where a salesman really knows how to increase his sales by selling more of the item and at the same time builds a personal following.
Well, nice to see you again, Mr. Delaney. Did you get the postcard I sent you?
Yes, I thought I'd take a look at those pajamas.
Mr. Delaney, they're one of the best-looking styles I've seen in years.
Okay, let's see them.
This is the top, a bright plaid. It's made like a sport shirt. See, there's a loop here that buttons under the collar. Just feel that high-count broadcloth.
Feels pretty good.
Well, notice these tailored pants. Big, roomy pockets. And finished with cuffs, just like on a regular pair of trousers. This Lastex belt has adjustable side tabs to give an easy, comfortable fit around the waist.
Not bad.
They're comfortable to sleep in and equally as good for lounging or TV viewing. They really serve as a double purpose.
Well, they're not cheap, but you make them hard to resist. Is this pair my size?
Yes. I'd like to suggest a second pair in another color and pattern, because I have a feeling these are going to be your favorite pajamas, and you won't want to be left without a fresh pair.
Well, since you seem so sold on these pajamas, they must be good.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, Mr. Delaney, but we have a special on shorts today. One of the best-known brands. They're quite a saving.
Sorry. This'll do for today. Some other time.
Okay, Mr. Delaney. I'll have your package ready in just a moment.
An easy sale? There's a reason. This salesman has gained the confidence of his customers. He brings them back to his department again and again. Time moves on. Let's check in once more on that young married couple, the ones who had such a bad time in men's robes.
Well, we really should have bought the carpet first, but we've already selected the wallpaper.
Oh, what's it like?
I believe they call it grass cloth. It's a soft green.
Oh, do you have a sample?
Yes, I have it right here. Here you are. Isn't it pretty?
Oh, yes, it's very nice. As a matter of fact, green goes with almost everything. How large is your room?
Oh, it's a big room, 12 by 20.
Is your furniture light or dark?
Well, mostly solid mahogany. Old pieces my grandmother gave us.
Oh, well, furniture like that deserves a really distinctive carpet. Something rich and luxurious. I think I've got just what you want. Let me show you. Now, this embossed Wilton is a quality weave of the finest wool. It's considered very high style.
It's a beautiful affair.
Isn't it? Suppose I run through a few of the samples here. You stop me if there's anything that especially appeals to you. This is April Green. Rose Quartz. Nutria. This is a very popular color. It goes with almost everything. Meadow Green. Cocoa. And this is a new shade. It's called Parchment. Pretty, isn't it? Mayfair Beige. Willow Green. And Silver Gray. Well, did you see anything that specially appealed to you?
Oh, dear, they're all attractive. Now I'm really confused. Maybe I should consult a decorator. What time is it, Jim? Must be almost lunchtime.
What's the matter with this salesman? He knows his stuff, but if he doesn't help those customers make up their minds, he's going to lose a sale.
Could I take another look at the wallpaper you selected?
Why, yes. Here.
Well, now that I see it again, it seems to me that your choice is very clearly with one of the greens.
Well, that's what I thought.
Suppose I bring out some of the smaller samples. Then we can place them on the floor, and you can see which one of them is best for blended harmony.
All right.
While it's true that any of the colors we saw on the platform would go all right with the wallpaper you selected, if you choose one of the greens, it will give you an uninterrupted flow of color for your complete background. This way, there'll be no strong contrast between the wall and the floor, and it'll make your room look more spacious.
Which one do you prefer, Jim?
Oh, you'd better select it, honey. You're going to be living with it more than I am. It strikes me that one of these darker greens, well, this one perhaps, would be more flattering to the warmer tones of your mahogany furniture.
Well, yes, I believe I like this one best. Okay, Jim.
Well, isn't it awfully expensive? Oh, not when you consider the pride and the pleasure you'll take in a carpet like this, and the amount of wear you'll get out of it. And with good furniture like yours, I think it's important to have good carpeting.
Well, that's how I feel about it.
Suppose I figure the costs. Now, I believe you told me your room was 20 feet long by 12 feet wide.
That's right.
And you said you'd want wall-to-wall, and you'd want good padding, too. Now, let's see.
That was a familiar situation. The salesman could not close the sale until he narrowed the choice for the customers and gave them the detailed information they needed. But as soon as he selected the merchandise that was right for them and concentrated on it, they made up their minds. Let's see how he follows through.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Scott and Mr. Scott. Oh, are you going to be selecting draperies later? If so, I can send a sample of the carpet up to the drapery department.
Oh, that's very nice of you. We may be stopping in the drapery department after lunch.
Well, if you do, ask for Mrs. Newcomb. She'll be prepared to help you.
Well, thank you. We'll do that. You ready for lunch?
Ready, able, and willing. And it better be good.
Thank you, Mr. McCobb.
Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hi, Helen.
Mind if I join you?
Glad to have you. Sit down. Helen, this is Sue Roberts. Just started today in hosiery. Sue, this is Helen Moran. Helen works in housewares.
How do you do?
Hi, Sue. How you getting along?
Not so good. When I see the way Kate handles the sale, I wonder if I'll ever be able
Oh, of course you will. Just keep asking questions. Takes a little time to catch on, but you'll find it's worthwhile in the long run.
You should have seen her. One customer looked as though she didn't have the price of a single pair, and Kate sold her 3.
That's one of the first things you have to learn. Never judge a customer by her dress.
Best way is to treat every woman as if she were a princess in disguise.
You read that somewhere, I bet. Is there a law against quoting?
Oh, but seriously, there are lots of things I'd like to know.
For instance?
Well, this morning a customer asked me for a brand that we didn't carry. Now, what am I supposed to do?
Well, I just say, sorry, madam, we don't carry that particular brand. But if it's the pop-up feature that appeals to you, I think you might like this XYZ automatic toaster even better.
Listen, Sue, no store, even the biggest, can carry all the different brands of hosiery. But if you haven't got the brand the customer asks for, all you have to do is bring out another brand and say something like this. We feature this brand, and our customers really like it. Here, let me show you.
Not bad. You know, that's what I like about selling. It's like a TV quiz. Something new every second. You never know what they're going to ask you, and you've got to think fast.
I'll say.
Trouble is, you try to be a super salesman, and then they think you're being aggressive or something.
Uh-oh, what's eating you?
Well, something happened this morning, got me kind of sore. My department manager keeps telling me, try to trade the customer up. Okay, so this woman came in. It's 2 aisles down and to the right. You can't miss it.
I want to buy some inexpensive enamel pots, like those you advertised in last night's paper.
Oh, yeah, they're over there. But we're also featuring a special on this heavyweight aluminum. It's much nicer.
Yes, but I just want something for my cottage at the shore.
Well, why not use this? It's selling at a great saving.
$2.19. Well, I certainly don't intend to spend anything like that.
But I think if you just try it.
Are you in charge here?
Yes. Can I help you?
Where are those enamel pots that you advertised in last night's paper?
If you will just step this way.
Then he sold her about a half a dozen pots and pans. Never traded her up at all.
And how big was the sales slip?
But what was the matter with the way I was handling it? I was trying to trade her up, wasn't I?
Yes, but don't you remember what they told us in training class?
What do you mean?
Well, they said we should start with the advertised item, or whatever the customer asked for, and then try to step up the sale.
So that's what he meant.
Speaking of bigger sales, you should have been with me about an hour ago, and our department was marvelous. Is this the only style you have? I have some that are a little fuller. Excuse me. Some of my customers seem to prefer them. Where could I see some diaper sets for a one-year-old boy? Excuse me, let me show you. Here are several you might look at. These two are dacron, and this one is cotton. I'll be with you in a moment. I believe I'll take this one. We have some polo shirts that would go very nicely with it. Never seem to have enough. Here, let me show you. Have you any floppy dogs? Right over there. The children love the one with the big red bow. This makes a nice combination. Yes, it does. Fine. Are you charging it? Yes. I'll have it for you in just a minute. I'll take this large dog. It is cute, isn't it? I'll be right with you. Hope I'm not neglecting you. No, I can see your business. Take your time.
Must have been like a three-ring circus.
The knack is to acknowledge the customer and get something into her hands while she's waiting.
Oh, girls, I gotta get back.
Oh, so do I.
Oh, wait just a minute till I finish my coffee.
Okay.
Oh, good afternoon. I wonder if you aren't Mr. and Mrs. Scott.
Why, yes, that's right.
I'm Mrs. Newcomb. Mr. McCaw brought over a sample of the carpet you selected, and I have some drapery material that I think would go with it perfectly. Won't you step over here, please? Sit down, Mrs. Scott, and make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Now, this one, as you see, has a lovely floral pattern against a white background. There's sufficient green in the leaves to tie up with the carpet, and the rose tones complement the green. I think you'd find this a delightful combination. On the other hand, if you prefer a solid color for your draperies, then I'd suggest a rose quartz like this for contrasting harmony.
They're both beautiful. Are they fade-proof?
Both are vac-dyed and resist fading. As you see, they both drape beautifully.
I believe I prefer the print. How about you, Jim?
Sure do. Bright and cheerful.
How do they dry clean?
Perfectly.
Well, then I don't think we have to look any further. I believe this is exactly what we want.
Fine. I'm sure you'll be very happy with this floral pattern. By the way, Mr. McCobb said you had some fine old mahogany furniture.
Oh, that's right.
What are the upholstered pieces?
A sofa and 2 chairs. The covering on the sofa goes very well with the colors and the floral pattern and the drapery material.
Well then, since this rose quartz goes so beautifully with the greens in the room.
Oh, I see what you mean, but we weren't planning on slip covers for the chairs yet.
And my thought was that whenever you're ready, you could cover the 2 chairs in rose quartz.
Well, that is an idea. And you did say you didn't like the covers on those chairs, Jim.
Take it easy, honey. We've already shot our budget.
You could wait, of course, but it seems a pity, since we can't be absolutely sure of having this identical material in stock later on.
It would be nice to have the whole thing off our minds.
Why don't you take advantage of our deferred payment plan? In that way, you could start enjoying your completed room right away.
Well, I don't know. How much would it all come to?
Suppose we figure it out. Won't you step over here, Mr. and Mrs. Scott? Now, how large is your window area, Mrs. Scott?
Well,
That was 5-star selling at its very best. Sometimes a sale is quick. Sometimes it takes a little longer. But always, the 5 principles of star selling remain the same. Be friendly, sincere, and prompt in your greeting. Find out the customer's needs. Show and explain the right merchandise with enthusiasm. Recommend better merchandise, more of the item, and related items. Help the customer decide and follow through efficiently. There's satisfaction in good selling, and there are ever-increasing opportunities for advancement and reward. But now, our day in the store is drawing to a close. During its busy hours, it was you, the men and women who sell, who gave it its personality, life, and vitality. Soon, as everyone departs, it will cease to be a store and will become once more a place where goods are waiting to be sold. Tomorrow? Well, tomorrow is another day, another opportunity. You start afresh. Each and every day, you bring the store to life. In this drama of retail selling, you are the star.
Come in. And walk softly. What do you want?
Your Father Time?
Why does everybody keep asking for that old glory grabber? All he does is to pose for New Year cards. Why, he gets all the publicity and I do all the work. Do I look like him?
Well, your beard is shorter. And you're younger. And cuter. They told me to report to Mr. Time.
That's my name, Mort Time. Excuse me.
Mort, are you there?
I hear you, Father Time.
Listen, son, about the special project for that sale manager.
You mean Ben Webster?
Didn't you say he's got a big problem?
His management has asked him to get 10% more sales production. I believe he can do it if...
There's an if?
There is.
You need help. I've arranged it. Lady coming to work for you. Just temporary, of course.
But, Father, you know that women have no idea.
No men available.
But, Father, she's just a girl.
Got to sign off. Photographer's waiting. New Year's cards.
You don't like women.
They've got no sense when it comes to time. No sense at all. Now, what did you ever do?
I earned my science degrees with Sir Isaac Newton.
Newton, only 250 years ago. Practically modern.
Now I'm doing graduate work toward my DST.
Oh, daylight saving time. Well, there might be some hope for you in this project. Minerva, how do you pronounce the rest?
Like 8 with an L. Late.
Don't say that. Never let me hear that word. Well, if I'm stuck with you, I'm stuck with you. I'll use your first name. Sit down, Minerva. Now, this special project is how to make more time for selling.
Selling? Does time count there, too?
Oh, you are green, aren't you?
Oh, I know the value of time. Every second on Earth, 3 babies are born. If mortals could make full use of the sun's energy, in just 1 minute, they would get enough kilowatts of...
Kindergarten stuff. I'm talking about SMT, sales-making time. Most unappreciated aspect of time today. Can you get that through your female skull?
In my preceding assignment, the supervisor conceded that my capacity for comprehension of obscure subjects indicates remarkable perception.
Obscure subject? You do need orientation. Now, how? How? Might do it with chronometer vision. Yes, yes. Maybe if you watched a regular human being, a mortal. I'll tune in Ben Webster. He's that sales manager working on the project. Just a guy. I'll get his sales meeting. Now you listen to him. It might be the best way to break you in.
This is your life, ticking away. Your time to spend as you choose. In 1 year, you have 8,760 hours to spend. The average salesman uses about 6,808 hours for meals, recreation, and sleep. And his actual working time is 1,952 hours. But in selling, only a small part of that working time pays off. The time we spend face-to-face with buyers actually selling. Those are the solid gold hours. We're with buyers 700 hours. Only 700 golden hours out of 8,760. That's a national average for many kinds of selling.
Does he mean that all of their time isn't selling time?
Certainly not. Just stop and think. There's time between interviews, going from one buyer to another. Getting ready to sell, waiting to see buyers, things like gab sessions and shopping for the missus. Planning and reports, digging up leads, laying out routes. So for actual selling, face-to-face with buyers, only a small part of their working time is left.
They ought to be fired.
Typical female comment. Minnie, look in there again.
This chart has shown us the hours in the year and where they go. Now let's take only this working portion and see what we're doing with it. To show that, we have another chart. It divides our working time into percentages instead of hours. It's based on the average for our own sales force. And it shows how we're using our working time. Between interviews takes 23% of our time. Getting ready to sell, another 23%. Planning and reports, 18%. And for face-to-face selling, only 36%. We're close to the national average. Our men all want to step ahead, but how many are using their latent ability? That God-given something that enables a man to run that extra mile. Think what it would mean to sales if every man in this organization resolved to spend just 30 minutes more a day face-to-face with buyers. We can get that extra 30 minutes of selling time by a small reduction in the time we spend in these other areas. For instance, take a small slice off the time for planning and reports. Say just 5 minutes a day. And a larger slice, 10 minutes off getting ready to sell. And take off a nice healthy slice, 15
15 minutes between interviews. Just in this example, it adds up to 6% of our working time. 30 minutes a day added for selling face-to-face with buyers. This is like adding 3 weeks to the year. 3 weeks of solid gold hours to pile up those extra sales that spell the difference between average volume and the big time. These symbols can help us remember how to take those slices off. The ruler, between interviews. The wedge, getting ready to sell. The clock, planning and reports. And the wheel, how to make more time to sell face-to-face with buyers.
Those circles and symbols, they remind me of Archimedes.
Archimedes, great geometrician. Too bad he was mortal. He died, let's see...
212 BC. Wasn't it funny when he jumped out of the bath and said, "Eureka, I found it"?
I was down here working that day. You were there?
No, across the street.
Well, then you're old enough to get this. The ruler, take a straight line, getting from one buyer to the next.
Archimedes said that?
No, but every good sales manager does. Get the map out of that desk.
Which drawer?
That one.
I saw Merlin do that trick.
That old fake. I'm going to let you see one of Ben Webster's salesmen at work before Ben got to thinking about time. Let's say about 2 months ago.
You can turn time backward, too?
Well, after all, this is Time Center. Oh, the mortals who wish they could do this. That's Tom Adams, a pretty good salesman in most ways.
Sort of cute, isn't he?
His list of calls. He's been to the first 4, and next he's... Oh, no.
What's wrong?
Well, here are his calls. Now, see how he's backtracking and zigzagging?
Perhaps he knows that if he dashes over here, he'll get an order.
Mortals don't have a sixth sense. You know that. Then he's got to go way back over there for the next call. Now here, shorter path between the same calls. Obviously takes less time. That's how to plan calls. But Tom could get a lot more business and save a lot of valuable time if he had more compact territory. As it is, he's wasting too much time getting from place to place. That's time he could spend face-to-face with the better prospects.
And drop the rest from his list.
Not that, Minnie.
Minerva.
He should plan more time for the good prospects, less time for the suspects.
Isn't he doing that either? Oh, and he looks like such a nice man.
Well, that was a couple of months ago, remember? Now let's see what he's doing today. Notice the order of his calls, arranged to save time. See the letters? A means the best ones. B, just fair. And C means, how do you youngsters say it? Not so hot?
You're keen today.
So he plans his calls in advance and concentrates on the better prospects. That's one way salesmen can make more time for selling. But it's only one way. Here's another.
I know. A wedge for prying.
A wedge can't do its work unless it gets in. Same with a salesman. But there are ways to get in that save a lot of waiting around. Let's go back a couple of months.
Good morning, Miss White. I'm Jack Saunders.
Oh, yes. Mr. Watson is expecting you. You can go right in.
But that's not fair. Tom Adams was there first.
Saunders had an appointment. Sometimes the best way to get in. But Tom was beginning to get the idea. Take a look. A few days later.
Mr. Betts, I'm going to be over near your place about 5 o'clock. Just wondered if you could still see me.
Sure can. Fact is, it's a mighty good time. No interruptions.
That's stretching his time better. Plenty of prospects that are hard to get to can be seen late in the day, or quite early in the morning, or on Saturday, or even at noon. They don't all go out to lunch at 12 o'clock, and some of them get back in half an hour.
But how would a salesman know? You said that mortals don't have a sixth sense.
He can ask, can't he? Now, let me see. Yes, that farm equipment salesman.
12:30. Am I too early, Mrs. Brown?
No, he's finished eating.
I remembered what you said on the phone about Mr. Brown having some time right after his noon meal.
Well, Dad, he likes to rest a bit at noon. After he gets out in the field again, he hates to stop. He's on the back porch. You can go right over.
Thanks, Mrs. Brown.
As I was saying, a man can ask. Find out the best time to see buyers, whether he's calling on them in stores or offices or house to house. Then he makes use of that information to get in. Or with some buyers, better to make appointments by telephone. Most salesmen don't appreciate what Alexander Graham Bell did for them.
Oh, dear Alex. He was sort of cute, too.
Minnie.
Oh!
Oh, Minerva. Minerva, my child, would it be too much to ask you to forget your reminiscences? This clock with the dollar signs is to remind salesmen that time is money. Hours should be budgeted.
Like budgeting your money.
Same thing exactly.
Well, I never could stick to my budget. Do you know where every penny goes?
We're discussing time, not money. Time, not money. Well, time is money. Now listen. A salesman budgets his time where and when it counts most. If he doesn't, well, just last month, Tom Adams got into that trap. He's pretty smart. He knows how important it is to make out his reports. But Tom would be even smarter if he did his planning on time when he can't see buyers. It was after 9 in the morning, and he had a heavy schedule of calls ahead.
Hello, Tom. Won't take but a minute of your time today, Mr. Gray.
Oh, that's all right. I don't know that we need anything right now.
Well, you know where to reach me. Give me a call anytime. By the way, here's a new pamphlet. Look it over if you get a chance, huh?
Oh, sure. I'd be glad to, Tom.
Well, see you next time around.
Yeah.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Know why? Hadn't stuck to a time budget. So?
Miss McMullen, did Tom Adams leave the building yet? Well, see if you can catch him in the lobby. There's something here I want to find out about.
Too late. Tom was gone. Was it a lost sale? Did Tom think about that possibility? No. He was actually proud of that day.
Look at the miles I covered in one day. How about that, huh?
Well, a golfer would say he got distance.
Yes, but the salesman who isn't thorough, who fails to render good customer service, doesn't build anything for the future. And of course, some calls are missed entirely by hurrying through.
You're really serious about this time budget business.
Look, child, if he scheduled his time for detail work during off hours, he wouldn't have to rush through a call. Budgeting is more than just saying, I'll spend 3 hours a week on paperwork, 1 hour in sales meetings, and the rest calling on buyers. It's planning what time of day to do it, and what day. What time to lay out tomorrow's calls, and all the other things.
So, the dollar signs on that clock mean you should budget your time like money.
Correct. Now, what's distinctive about a wheel?
It's round.
Your perception is amazing.
Oh, they do say I have a good eye.
You're missing the spokes. This wheel isn't much good if the spokes are missing.
Oh, so that symbol reminds a salesman...
Have to have everything he needs to make a complete presentation. Oh, it adds up to sales call efficiency.
Who now?
A route salesman.
So I thought I'd see what you have on the hook.
Not a thing this time.
You'll move them a lot faster if you use that new counter display I was telling you about.
Might. Okay, go ahead and put it up.
No?
Well, sure. You say it'll move more merchandise.
Gosh, I clean forgot to bring one along. I'll tell you what, Mr. Porter, I'll run back out here tomorrow morning.
So he had to make a special trip. 10 miles out and back.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't mind. Mr. Porter was nice.
But that meant taking time out next day, taking up more of Mr. Porter's time. A salesman should make sure that he's fully equipped when he starts out, including all the facts that he needs to know about individual buyers. Avoids doubling back for a half-made sale.
Have everything. Be a wheel.
But just having the facts and equipment is not enough. Should know how to use his sales helps, when to talk and when to listen. I remember a retail appliance salesman who had a great deal of difficulty. He had never planned his presentation. So I arranged a dream for him, showed him what he said and did was wasting time and money.
Isn't that you?
After all, this is a dream.
Something for you?
I've been looking at your refrigerators. Regarding that 15-foot model...
It's terrific, isn't it?
Well, it's rather large. I just came in to see...
You sure don't have to worry about that box. It's a humdinger.
It hums?
Look at those lines and the chrome trim. Comes in 3 colors. Now take any of the colors. They're all terrific. The 15-footer is great for folks who entertain. It's a honey. Lots of capacity, makes plenty of ice cubes. And speaking of entertaining, yes, sir, that box is a beaut. When you think of all the things that you can put with that box,
$10 worth of his
room
time
along the sides,
gone.
The roll-out shelves.
I beg your pardon. Have you got a $10 bill?
Well, what do you want it for?
I merely wish to demonstrate something.
Well, okay, but remember where you got it.
You have been wasting precious time, perhaps a $10 bill, talking to yourself. All I wanted to know was how much space that box would take in my kitchen. But everything you said, I already knew. So that was a waste of time for you and for me. Let us say, about $10 worth?
That's my $10 bill.
Remember, to get a buyer's name on the line, a salesman needs to give him facts, not generalities. Concentrate on buyer's benefits.
Did the salesman get his $10 back?
That was a dream. Applies to any salesman selling anything. Then, there's another way of saving time, sometimes used in selling to organizations, business firms, hospitals, school boards. That's to get a group of the deciders together. Would you like to see Tom Adams again?
Anytime.
He's calling on a purchasing agent, that Mr. Gray. This time he's doing much better.
Morning, Mr. Gray.
Hello, Tom. Is that what you want to show me?
Yes, some recommendations along the lines I mentioned.
Mm-hmm. You want to bring it in?
Well, before I do, I've got a suggestion. You want me to get Joe Larkin's opinion on this?
Yes, I'll have to know what maintenance thinks.
And how about your shop foreman? Wouldn't it be a good idea to check it with him?
Mm-hmm. He'll have to pass on it eventually.
Well, I wonder if we couldn't get both of them up here. Then they can bring up any questions while we're all together. In 10 minutes, we can see if this doesn't fit right into your requirements.
I don't know. It's worth a try. I'll see if Joe is available. Joe? George Gray. Look, Joe, if you're not tied up, could you come up front to look at something that Tom Adams wants to sell us? Well, I don't know. He's got a big, fat portfolio with him. How long did you say to take?
Exactly 10 minutes.
He says only 10 minutes. Okay, Joe, we'll look for you. Well, Joe can make it. I'll try Walters now.
One presentation instead of 3. Even you can see how that saves time. Has other advantages as well. Separately, each man might have different objections, excuses. But in one meeting, all questions come out. And individuals are even likely to sell each other. Of course, a planned presentation saves time, whether it's with a group or just one buyer. Can't you see that?
Well, yes, but something puzzles me.
I dare say.
Why don't you do a group selling job? Get all salesmen together at once, maybe in a dream, and just tell them.
Young lady, do you know how many salesmen there are?
Lots.
Lots. So we leave that up to the sales managers.
Like Ben Webster?
Like Ben. Oh, yes, like Ben Webster. He should be on his way to that 10% sales increase by now.
Oh, Tom. Glad you came in. I've had some of these made up for all the men.
Same as your chart, huh?
In a way, but the sections are movable, and the rims marked off in percentages of your working time.
Looks tricky.
Oh, simple to use. You make a time study. See how you're using your time. Say, for instance, you're spending 40% of your time getting from buyer to buyer. Set between interviews at 40. And suppose 20% is getting ready to sell. Add that. And suppose 15% is planning reports. That leaves...
Only 25% for face-to-face selling.
And that's the most important time you have. The solid gold hours.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
This can help you sales manage yourself, Tom. Analyze your time and set the dial. Keep watching your time management. Say, next month, if you find you've increased your face-to-face time, you reset the dial. Then you're on your way to using that latent capacity we've all got to increase your volume.
If my own time study turns out like this, only 25% face-to-face selling, I'm throwing away money.
Not anymore. I've just seen your latest report. Maybe these symbols are helping.
They sure are. Listen, the ruler, the shortest distance between 2 points. Group my calls carefully. Avoid backtracking. Helps get in that extra call. The wedge. To get in and to cut waiting time, make appointments whenever I can. No customers' work habits. The clock. Budget time. Do planning and reports in hours when I can't see buyers. Be thorough on every call. Take time to save time. The wheel. Make a complete presentation to groups when possible. Concentrate on buyer benefits.
Right. That gives you time to sell.
Selling is certainly different from any other profession. Only a small part of the working time counts. The time that really pays off in selling is the time a salesman spends with his buyers.
Father? Father Time. Are you there?
I hear you, Mart.
It's about Minnie. Minerva. I think she'll do.
How's that?
On the project, time to sell.
What?
Plan the day in order to get more selling time face-to-face with buyers.
Speak up.
More time for face-to-face selling.
Of course. That's just what I've been saying all along.
You hit the time advance. Look, it's here. Time center. Why, it's you. And me.
Minerva? I've just had a meeting with Father Time. It seems that you've been getting him all stirred up about his posing for New Year's cards.
I just suggested that he should spend less time posing and more time on sales.
So he's been analyzing and budgeting time and planning.
And what happened?
My dear, they sold an extra 1 billion New Year's cards.
Who is it? A relief pitcher coming in. No, it isn't. You got the wrong number. Now, why don't you look up the number or learn how to dial?
you? Bartlett? I didn't hear you speak up. Did you say Bartlett? Oh, George's boss, Bartlett. Yes, I heard you. Thank you, Mr. Bartlett. Oh, of course I'll tell him. Goodbye.
Yeah. And, 6 banks of 4 steel door front cabinets, leather size, FFE 210. No. FFE 210. That's right. And be sure that they are 12 3/8 by 10 1/4 by 24 inches. Huh? What's the matter with you? It's 12 3/8 by 10 1/4 by 24 inches.
Hillman hasn't phoned. I've got the order, but I need the specifications before we can start packaging in the morning. He said he'd call by 8 o'clock this evening, sure.
Why don't you phone him?
Maybe I'd better. Penny, she's on the extension. Penny! Penny, get off the phone. I'm expecting a long-distance call.
Goodbye, Angie. I'm up now.
What you've just witnessed are some obvious examples of a recognizable illness, the dread malady called telephone discourtesy. Unfortunately, we're all susceptible to this disease because all it takes to come down with it is a little thoughtlessness. However, there are ways to build up an immunity, and if we all help, we might wipe out telephone discourtesy. You see, people judge you by what you say and how you say it. So every time you speak on the phone, remember this: your voice is showing. Yes, your voice is showing. Whenever you use this compact instrument, this handy invention can do a lot for you among your friends and business associates. In our everyday living, time is important, and good telephone habits do save time. And even more important, they allow you to communicate more effectively with other people. After all, that's why we use the phone. So the more politely and efficiently you use your phone, the better it'll serve you. Here in our studio, we're on stage 7, where we have motion picture sets built to represent hallways, secretaries' offices, living rooms, reception rooms, and executive offices. And we're going to put them all to use. We also have our own group of actors, and I'd like you to meet them. Janet, Pete, and Linda. Sid, June, and Hal. Obviously, there's a right and a wrong way to use your telephone, and my actor friends are going to help me illustrate a few examples of both. And although most of us speak in our normal voice, as I'm doing now, there are those misguided people who seem to change entirely when they use this instrument. They affect a telephone voice of their own creation. Sid, it's all yours.
Shall we do the overeducated or the officious?
Do the officious one.
Yes, Mr. Rogers, I see no reason why we can't do it your way. And we shall, and as quickly as possible.
Now, there's a very pleasant man who was willing, but he didn't sound that way. His voice was showing all right, but not to his advantage. And, of course, there's the loudmouth who really doesn't need a phone at all.
This is a real deal. How can it miss with little old me handling the project? You thousands of dollars. Thousands, you hear me?
We hear you. Indeed we do. Yes, we run across many examples of discourteous telephone behavior. For instance, the thoughtless lady on a party line who never even bothers to listen to the dial tone, never checks to hear whether any other party is on the line.
Not again. Do you mind, whoever you are?
I'm using the phone.
Well, excuse me, but you don't have to be so huffy about it.
You know, with just a little courtesy, party liners could get along just fine. Courtesy in our telephone conversations is very important if we want to be efficient, personable, and communicate properly. For example,
Instead of the thoughtless telephone behavior we sometimes run across, listen to this pleasant young lady.
Mrs. Rogers, this is Laurie Singleton. Bob called me while I was out and left a message with my mother to call him. May I speak with him, please? Of course, I'll wait. Thank you.
You see? Very commendable telephone manners. First, she speaks distinctly. She immediately identifies herself. She addresses the mother by name, states her reason for calling, then thanks her for getting the boy to the phone.
Hi, Bob. I got your message. Tomorrow evening? Oh, I'd love to go. Okay, I'll be ready at 7:30. Thanks for asking me, Bob.
Now that little girl is going to stay popular. This is Forgetful Freddy. There are a lot of Freddys in the world. Go, Freddy.
Is Mr. Thomas there? Mr. Thomas isn't in? Well, I'd appreciate it if he'd call me when he comes in. I'll be here. Thanks. Bye.
Forget to leave your name and phone number, Fred?
Hey, I forgot to leave my name.
What else, Fred boy?
I forgot to leave my phone number.
Fred sure wastes a lot of other people's time, as well as his own. You know, Fred shouldn't push the dial back. He should let it come back on its own. Otherwise, he might get a wrong number and have to dial all over again. One of the discourtesies we commit is that we sometimes don't let the phone ring long enough for the party to answer. We really should extend the courtesy of ringing 7 or 8 times if necessary. But on the other side of the coin, there is such a thing as being discourteous when we know our own phone is ringing. As an example, here is Janet. She's going to give us her characterization of a woman who likes a good book. Come on, lady, answer the telephone. Someone wants to talk with you. It could be very important, if not to you, to them.
Hello? They hung up. How about that for rudeness?
Yeah, how about that? Have you ever noticed that efficient people have good telephone manners? The same is true for an efficient business. Now, here's the newest in the telephone switchboard. Through your switchboard, the voice of your business travels out to create either a good or a bad impression of your organization. When the voice of your business is courteous,
R&J Engineering and Construction Company. Mr. Roberts? Certainly, I'll connect you with his office.
then it builds goodwill for your company. When the voice of your business is warm and pleasant,
May I tell Mr. Roberts who is calling, please? Just a moment, please.
it conveys an impression of efficiency that wins friends, keeps customers happy, and helps a business prosper. Those are the results when a company uses the phone properly. But even the most modern equipment can't do the job effectively when people fall into the wrong telephone habits. Then the voice of a business stammers and stutters, wheezes and coughs.
R&J Engineering and Construction Company.
What was that?
R&J Engineering and Construction Company.
Mr. Roberts, please.
I'll connect you.
Mr. Roberts, please.
Who's calling?
Wouldn't she have sounded more pleasant if she'd said, "May I tell him who's calling, please?" She's one type of communications barrier who's really overly mannered, which results in her sounding rude. Then there's the girl who can't convey a message because she's totally disorganized.
He's not here.
Well, when do you expect him?
I don't know.
You don't know? Where did he go?
He just went out.
Well, tell him when he just returns that he just might want to give me a call, since we just might want to give him some business.
When telephone manners become rude and confused, you lose friends, contacts, and business. On the subject of business, there's the little drama of the executive who has his secretary place a call to an associate.
Mr. Donald Stone calling Mr. Williams.
Just a moment, I'll put him through to Mr. Williams.
Yes?
Mr. Donald Stone on 2?
Oh, hello, Don. How's the golf score these days?
Just a moment, Mr. Williams. I'll put Mr. Stone on now. Your call to Mr. Williams on 4. Mr. Stone, are you there? I'm sorry, Mr. Williams. Mr. Stone must have just stepped out of his office.
I'll see if I can find him.
When you do, miss, have him call me again, huh?
When we place a call, we're interrupting someone. So we should be on the line when he answers, shouldn't we? Well, you've seen some good telephone manners and some behavior that wasn't so good. But most of our conversations over the phone can be very pleasant with just a little consideration. It'll help if we're thoughtful enough to put a smile in our voice, keep our lips about half an inch from the mouthpiece, speaking distinctly, pronouncing words and numerals carefully.
Don Wheelwright, 5569 Bennington Road.
Promptly identifying yourself and your reason for calling.
This is Janet Wallace. May I have an appointment, please, for tomorrow afternoon for a permanent?
Addressing people by their right names and titles.
Professor Blake, this is John Sims at State University. As you may recall, we met at the Educators Conference last month.
Giving and receiving messages, accurately keeping a record of messages, taking advantage of the rapid direct dialing for long-distance calls.
Hiya, George. How are things in your part of the country?
Keeping a convenient list of numbers you call frequently. And if you don't have the number on hand, don't guess. Look it up in your directory. Oh, and don't forget to hang up gently. Curing the disease of telephone discourtesy isn't too difficult. The best treatment is a good dose of that rule of rules, the golden rule. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. It'll make our phone conversations more efficient, enjoyable, and useful to all concerned. And now, I'd like to take a moment to thank our company of actors. Janet, Pete, and Linda. Sid, June, and Hal. We hope that what our versatile friends have shown will help us all take the time to be more thoughtful about our telephone manners. Whenever you use this convenient instrument, remember, your voice is showing.
This is a check stand, the point in the modern self-service food store where our customers pay for what they have bought. As you might imagine, they are interested in what goes on.
That's not the price posted on the shelf. It wasn't. Price on the shelf was 23 cents.
That was the sale price. The sale ended this morning.
Well, you've still got the sale price on the shelf.
We certainly wouldn't charge you more than the posted price.
This checker is in a spot where it would be easy to do the wrong thing. Obviously, she can't throw doubt on a customer's honesty. But just as obviously, she can't accept a customer's word about the price of any item.
How do you do?
Mr. Nelson, someone forgot to change the sales price on the orange juice.
I'm sorry, I'll take care of it right away. Of course, the price of this can will be only 23 cents.
Thank you.
Naturally, the price has to be checked. But the situation has been handled so that everybody is happy. Almost everybody, that is. Mistakes are bound to happen in the best regulated food stores. And they'll go on happening until somebody invents a machine to supplant the human being. This young lady is a good checker. She follows accurately the various steps of correct check stand procedure.
I'll have to make out an overring slip for the manager. I'll subtract the 6 cents from your receipt. That'll be $3.50.
But there's more than that to being a good checker. Remember that the check stand is the last contact customers have with the store before leaving it. Therefore, the feeling about the store that they take away with them depends a great deal on how they are treated at the check stand. Naturally, the secret of good check stand treatment is a good checker. What makes a good checker? Well, lots of things. One thing is appearance, how you look to other people. But that depends first on how you look to yourself, on what you see in your mirror when you come to work in the morning. Don't let your mirror show you anything like this. Customers don't care for glamour at the check stand. Accuracy at your mirror counts as much as accuracy at the check stand itself. Sometimes you might think you look like this, when actually, this might be the true picture. So be sure you see yourself as you are, and be sure you are as we want the customers to see you. The other things necessary to a good checker are proper tools to work with. These are furnished by your employer. First, there is a counter. Then there is a cash register. Often there is a computing scale. This scale not only weighs things, it tells you how much to charge. In the drawer of the cash register is a compartment for each denomination of coin and bill. The arrangement may vary, but whatever the order may be, the various denominations must be kept separate. Behind the counter are compartments where bags are kept. But of course, the most important element of any check stand is the checker. Which brings us back to the original question. What makes a good checker? Good equipment? That's furnished by the company. Neat appearance, accuracy, anybody can learn those. But you can't be really good at this job unless you're a bit of a practical psychologist. Don't let the term scare you. All you have to do to be a good practical psychologist is to like people. All kinds of people. For example, here are Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Mr. and Mrs. Jones have been married for about 6 months. And while Mr. Jones is a devoted husband and an excellent provider, there are some aspects of domestic life that he is not exactly enthusiastic about. Shopping for groceries is one of them. On the other hand, here is Joe Smith. Joe doesn't mind doing a reasonable amount of shopping for his mother, provided there are the proper inducements, and provided nobody hurries him. Here is Mrs. Burke. Mrs. Burke lives on a budget that is just barely adequate. Mrs. Burke has to watch the prices of what she buys. Every cent is a matter of vital importance to her. This is Mrs. Johnson. The world rests more lightly on her shoulders. She's the kind of a person who likes most of the people she meets, and most of the people she meets like her. This lady's name is Brown, Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown is looking for eggs. Here they all are at the check stand. Now remember, the way you look to a customer will influence greatly how the store looks to that customer. And the way you look to one customer may not be the way you look to another. When the Joneses arrive at the check stand, you give them the usual pleasant smile and greeting. To Mr. Jones, that is the first bright spot in the store. But you must remember that Mr. Jones has a wife, and unless you understand her point of view, the same smile may look different to her. Like this. Now, Joe Smith. Joe. Mr. Smith is ready to go home now. He's fed up with shopping. You've already got 2 strikes on you with Joe. Say something like, "Hello, Sonny," and it'll be 3. People who like children don't treat them as babies. You remember that Mrs. Burke was worried about the prices of things. Not an uncommon worry these days, or any days. The high prices aren't your fault any more than they are hers, or ours. We'd like Mrs. Burke to know we'd lower the prices if we could. Mrs. Burke's problems might make us look as if we enjoyed the situation she's in. unless you are careful. Here is Mrs. Johnson again, friendly and talkative as ever. Mrs. Johnson has no desire to take your mind off your work. Her conversation comes from sheer friendliness. Naturally, you can't stop work and chat with customers, but you might easily give Mrs. Johnson the wrong idea. Mrs. Johnson won't come back to a store where people act like unfeeling robots. We want Mrs. Johnson to come back. We want all our customers to come back. But what happened to Mrs. Brown? Here she is, still looking for eggs. And here are the eggs. Mrs. Brown is now ready to be checked out and to go home. Mrs. Brown sees the checker pretty much as she actually is. She follows the checking out procedure, but she isn't aware of the details or of what a good checker does to protect her and us against the possibility of error. The customer's money doesn't go into the drawer yet. The change is counted first into the checker's hand. Then counted again into the customer's hand. Then the customer's money is put into the cash drawer and the drawer is closed. At this point, our good checker is called away. The substitute does her best. She tries to remember everything she's been told. Things like putting the customer's receipt in the bag, even though she sometimes remembers them a little late. But our substitute checker has forgotten one very important thing, which is this. A customer's transaction with us does not end when that customer leaves our store. It is possible for a shopping trip, which has apparently been completed to the satisfaction of everyone concerned, to be ruined between our check stand and the customer's front door. Mrs. Brown is a case in point. Let us draw a curtain over this painful scene and go back to the store and see if we can reconstruct the crime. Let's have a look at what's going on here. The substitute checker remembers that heavy items should be at the bottom of the bag. But that, alas, is all she remembers. Whatever may be on her mind after that point, Mrs. Brown's goodwill toward the store certainly isn't part of it. She has turned a perfectly good customer into the unwilling star performer in a balancing and juggling act. Here we have the makings of a bad situation. And here is the bad situation. But it's a bad situation that could so easily have been prevented. Let's do this scene over with the original cast. This checker knows that people carry large bags like this one by the bottom. She knows that, therefore, the center of gravity of the load must be kept as low as possible. She puts everything flat that can be packed flat, so there is nothing to topple. In this way, Mrs. Brown is assured of a pleasant conclusion to her transaction with us. we have a happy ending to our picture.